Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Muhammad Zishan. I'm a qualified accountant and I do a tax planning videos and I also do videos around tax policies. The Labour government came into power with one of the strongest promises that they're not going to raise taxes. Keir Starmer himself said, "We are determined to put money back into the pockets of working people," and yet just a month to go, we are going to face a betrayal in terms of raise in taxes. Because here's the reality: while Sir Keir Starmer was making those promises, his Chancellor Rachel Reeves was looking at the books and saying something very different. Back then, she talked about a 22 million black hole in the public finances, and now that hole has gone to 50 billion. And to fill it, the government is looking straight at working people. Ministers stood in parliament and promises no tax rises for working people, but promises in politics are often bent under pressure, and they are now blaming the horrific financial mess they say they inherited. The truth is, yes, they inherited a lot of mess and a lot of crises from previous government. However, a lot of current situation is completely down to their own political decisions and choices. The British government is right now tight-lipped, but signals are right there. Think tank, economists, and even Institute of Research for Economics and Social, they're also saying that tax rises are coming in autumn budget. And when Starmer was asked about hikes to VAT, income tax, or corporation tax, he refused to rule them out. Now, National Institute of Economic and Social Research says that if Rachel Reeves wants to build a buffer, then she has to raise either VAT or income tax. VAT is easier to collect but hits poor household hardest. Income tax is fair in theory but politically more sensitive. Other options: cutting the £20,000 ISA allowance, hiking capital gain tax, or reversing the recent cuts to national insurance. But that last one would directly break the manifesto pledge and could slow down job creation. So what does that mean for you? The autumn budget will be published in late October on early November, and where you sit will depend on whether you win or lose. Higher earners may see big tax bills, especially on wealth and inheritance. Pension tax leave could be trimmed, annual loans for pension savings must be squeezed, and the more you have been relying on those generous tax breaks, the more you might feel the pinch. And here is the twist: Richard Reeves needs to find another 5.8 billion after her two U-turns, scrapping the universal credit and PIP bill and reinstating the winter fuel allowance. But she's boxed herself in. She promised not to touch VAT, corporation tax, or taxes on working people. So where does she go? So here are my prediction for autumn budget. So number one is higher dividend tax rates. This is the bad news for company directors and small business owners who pay themselves through dividends. They might also freeze tax threshold. It's sneaky because it does not look like a tax rise, but it still drags more people into higher tax burden. They already freeze personal loans, so hopefully they will keep it instead of further increase to another years. Number third is raising fuel duty, frozen since 2011, but they may not be able to reset. Cutting higher rate pension leave, moving it from 40 or 45% down to maybe 30%, reducing the tax-free pension lump sum, capping it at £100,000 instead of 25% of the pot. And number six is CGT rates. They might increase CGT rates in line with income tax rates. And number seven is ISAs allowance. Right now, there is 20k threshold for ISAs. They might reduce this to 10k or 15k, who knows. And finally, national insurance rates. It is highly unlikely, however, there is still a chance that they might reverse cut on national insurance rate for employees. So these were my understanding. Obviously, it's not a kind of inside information, or I don't have connection with any political party. So this is entirely based on my own understanding and judgment. So if you have any thoughts, so please do not forget to put that down into the comment section. Now, moving forward to the bigger picture, the truth is now UK has two major problems. The one is short-term crisis and the other one is long-term, which is even more worse. Spending is running ahead of tax receipts and the officials forecast says our public finances are unsustainable for decades ahead if nothing changes. Personally, I don't think they are going to increase VAT or reverse national insurance immediately. Politically, it's too dangerous. But something will increase. They might increase taxes on gambling, maybe a still increase through of frozen thresholds. The problem is labor wording. We won't increase taxes on working people. Is vague. Who are working peoples? Even Prime Minister is struggling to define it. I think what they can do is like if they are not planning to increase income tax, say clearly, corporation tax, say clearly, but obviously saying that we are not going to raise taxes for working people is something like obviously a bit of, a bit extended term, which they should not be using. Otherwise, the results are in front of them. The autumn budget in just in weeks' time. So, what are your thoughts? Are we looking for a sharpest U-turn in recent history? Do you think Labor will keep their promises? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. As always, hand salute. Until the next video.